So my name's Elia Brown.
And I'm Julia Pomerantz, and we're going to talk to you about the process of making Hershey's chocolate.
So the first step is sourcing and where the cocoa bean actually comes from. As you can see from the picture, here is all of the ingredients and across the world where they come from. The most common place where the cocoa bean comes from is the West African nations on the Ivory Coast, which is this area right here. It's actually the world's largest exporter of the cocoa bean for Hershey's chocolate. And another place is Ghana, which is also right there too. Next, I'm going to talk about how the cocoa bean is pulled off of the tree and into the bag ready to ship. So the first step is these pods right here will be on the tree, and they're originally green, and once they turn orange, they are ready to be harvested. Next is the fermentation process. The beans will be placed into a wooden crate for a week, ready then to be placed in these sacks that will then go onto the truck. And this is the drying process. The beans will be placed on there for about a week, left in the sun to dry out, and then the next step is to place them onto the truck or ship to be sent away to the manufacturing companies. A little bit about logistics and how the cocoa bean actually gets to the factory. It's most commonly used with the truck. Here's an example of the truck. The dried cocoa beans are packed into sacks, hauled onto trucks, and then taken to the Ghana port. Then they're placed into containers, placed on a ship, and then sent to Singapore. Once they arrive at Singapore, they're placed onto a truck, and then they go to one of the many processing factories. The location of Hershey's manufacturing facilities and distribution centers are strategically placed in order to be efficient and have effective distribution.
So the operations, we limited down to like 15 steps so it would be easy to understand. So the first step is that the cocoa beans arrive from the logistics trucks. And then the beans are sorted and cleaned. Then they're set onto a blending process which combines all the flavors to create the Hershey flavor. Then they are roasted in a large revolving roaster. Then they are broken into shells and shattered into tiny pieces called nips. And then they are milled, and the nips get grinded through a miller. The miller generates extreme heat to turn the nips into something called chocolate rigor. Then it gets pressed into the chocolate that can be smooth and creamy. Then it goes into central blending, which will add in the milk and the sugar. Then the liquid chocolate will be dried, which removes the excess moisture. Then it goes through a refining process, which grinds the chocolate until it reaches a smooth consistency. Then the chocolate will be further refined in a process called conching for over 72 hours until it reaches a silky consistency. Once that happens, then the chocolate will be poured into molds. Once it's poured into the molds, it'll be cooled and removed from the molds, and that's called molding. Then after that, we'll add in different ingredients to create different types of Hershey's, such as the milk Hershey's bar, Reese's, a Kit Kat, or even the York peppermint patty. Then it's packaged into the specific packaging and then sent off onto trucks. Then the marketing part of it. So there's a lot of marketing that revolves around Hershey. So it includes like the park and Chocolate World, which is right outside the park, and that's a big thing here in Pennsylvania. The town itself, it's called Hershey, Pennsylvania. They use a mass marketing strategy, the standard strategy, where all customers are viewed in the same way. At the Hershey Story, it's a museum on Chocolate Avenue. You can make an old advertisement. So this is one that I recently made, which was really cool. They just had a really big screen up, and you could add whatever you want and like take off and change the color. It was super cool. And then they also do ones for Christmas. So here's a really popular one with Hershey Kisses. last one. So from the Hershey website itself, it says, our goal is to have a sustainable supply chain for our operations across the globe. And we believe this is only to be achieved when deforestation isn't a part of the question. So here is a infographic to show the value chain of Hershey. Thank you for watching and have an amazing day.